is based on the exploitation of the African continent. Africa is supposed to provide raw material to a lot of hotels and restaurants. You're going to be drinking Swiss coffee. You're going to be eating Swiss chocolates. And yet there's not a single cocoa plantation in Switzerland. There isn't a single tea plantation in Switzerland. Why is the World Trade Organization giving a blind eye to such abuses? And this time they did it even better. They put one of our own on there. What's your problem? Problem solved. One of you is over there. She's not going to make a bit of a difference, because those policies were put in place a long time ago with a clean agenda to make sure that we are forever providing them raw materials and creating jobs for them. It's only recently that Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, the largest producers of cocoa in the world, 6% of the cocoa comes from West Africa. They only started producing chocolates not even 5 years ago. Because why? If they tried to add value to their cocoa, the tariffs that were put on the value-added products were so high that it wasn't even worth pursuing it. So the World Trade Organization is another issue of the root. That until we dismantle the World Trade Organization and their policies, until we dismantle the geopolitical systems, until we dismantle the world financial systems, the Bretton Woods institutions, our abilities to move forward are forever going to be hindered. The average African country, in some cases 60% of their GDP on loan repayment. How on earth can a country survive? And they turn around and look at you, equate to, you're taking my lunch every day. And at the end of the day, you look at me and say, why are you so thin? I equate to, you come to my house and you burn my house down, and then you turn around and say, why are you homeless? The abuse of Africa is so blatant. It's mind-boggling to think that in 2023, those abuses are still being systematically meted to us, and we seem to be totally incapable of fighting back. Let's use an egregious one that I speak to quite often. When you look at the fact that to this day, as we speak, our ancestors' remains are in jars, in basements throughout Europe. Why do we engage these people? I'm supposed to have meetings with you, and I know in this building where I'm sitting in, the ancestors are in jars somewhere. And the reason you don't want to bring them back for proper burial is because you classified them as trophies of conquest. You see, you go to Africa, you kill a lion, you got your head, that's your trophy. You go to Africa, you kill a human being, that's your trophy. That is their arguments in the courts. They're trophies of conquest. My brothers and sisters, doesn't that just make you sick? But we still engage these people. What would it take to save every British citizen in this country? You got 2 weeks to get out if Britain doesn't bring back our ancestors. Let them be the one to run back and talk to Britain and say, hey, we love Uganda. We ain't leaving. You better bring those remains. But those conversations are not taking place. Look at our artifacts that were stolen in Africa. They were basically just taken. You see, when you steal something, at least you respect the other person. And you do it when they're not watching, because you're afraid they're going to beat you up. They didn't have to respect it, they just took it. We traveled throughout Europe, and we paid to see what belongs to us. What is keeping us from saying, I'm taking what belongs to me? I think you saw, some of you, that Nigerian who saw a Benin bronze in one of the museums in London, and he was trying to unscrew it. And he held on to it so tight, he says, I'm taking it, this is mine, and he was right. The video went viral, but man was right. How bad do things have to get before we, the Africans, have to get up and say, enough is enough? We don't need them. The truth of the matter is the Western world needs Africa, and that is a fact, and they know it. But then I go back to The reason we're unable to stand up and push back as effectively as we should is because we lost and are defeated at the Battle of the Marne. And finally, root cause number 6. Through slavery, the brain drain has been ongoing. Many left through slavery, and many more have left running away from wars, famine, climate change, in search of greener pastures. The bottom line is our Africa, as we speak, we simply have a serious capacity deficit. And that deficit, imagine if we could only repatriate the over 300 million African diaspora, the professionals with the financial know-how. If we can just organize them to understand that Africa is home, because they too have been lied to. Don't go to Africa, it's a diseased and dying continent. You'll die there. So they don't come to Africa. But they want to keep Africa as their own little secret. You fly from Europe, majority of the people in the planes don't look like you and I. Have you ever wondered, why are they coming here? Because there's something amazing and wonderful going on in Africa. The question is, do you and I understand that? We're too busy trying to get out of Africa in search of greener pastures that do not exist. My brothers and sisters, let's understand Africa's tree of life. Let's have a deep understanding of issues of the root. And let's not be allowed to waste time on issues above the ground. I'm not saying issues above the ground do not matter. Yes, they do. But understand why these fruits are not as juicy as they used to be is because of the issues of the root. So deal with the root. Understand why the leaves are dying one season after the other. Yes, we want to do something about it, but understand why. Look at the root. And when you understand the root causes of Africa's ailments, we will be in a better position to strategize and push back against the Western world and now the Eastern world that have systematically strategized on how to keep us where they want us to be so they can continue to exploit us to the fullest extent. I'm so glad to be here at Makerere speaking to the young bright minds that we have a responsibility as elders to teach them the truth and nothing but the truth. They are where they are today because we, the elders, have not told them the truth. I was talking to a lady in Zimbabwe and she was talking about, she has friends who don't even want their children to speak Shona. They want their children to speak English because it's embarrassing for them to speak Shona. The disease is deep. As elders, we have a responsibility to teach our children the truth, to remind them who they are, that they are the fathers and mothers of humanity, that you are the only one who cannot be destroyed. I often say to young people, if you all choose to start mating with those who don't look like you and I, give it 2 generations and the world will be black. Have you ever seen any other person who met with a non-black person and the child is that other color? The answer is no. Because our gene is the only one that is dominant. We are indestructible. And young people, I want you to know that. So don't you ever let anybody make you feel inferior because you are not. Without you, there will not be humanity as we know it. So let's let the world know once and for all. Those who are the mothers and fathers of humanity, those who are indestructible, those who gave humanity what it is, those who civilized the world, we have a responsibility to rebuild the Africa to where it once was, when we ruled the world and we civilized humanity. That Africa we can rebuild, we can recreate it. But for you to do so, you must be empowered with knowledge, with facts, with truth, constants that never change. You are all blessed to be led by